Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, we'll tell you about a symposium coming up to share information regarding the McDowell-Sonoran Preserve. And we'll talk about the importance of parental and community involvement in education. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Steve Goldstein in for Ted Simons. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey says his education funding plan is evolving as he engages in talks with lawmakers and educators. The governor said today the plan he proposed in June to increase payouts from the State Land Trust to provide more money for education is being revised. A recent report indicates Arizona's budget will have extra money from tax revenues, and the governor has hinted using some of that to fund education. In tonight's sustainability segment, we tell you about a symposium that will be held this weekend about Scottsdale's McDowell-Sonoran Preserve. The preserve encompasses 30,000 acres with 150 miles of hiking trails. The symposium will be held at Scottsdale Community College and will bring together researchers, students, stakeholders, citizens, and community leaders to share and learn about research on the preserve. Here to tell us more is John Wester, Executive Director of Scottsdale Community College's Center for Native and Urban Wildlife, and Melanie Luchek, McDowell-Sonoran Field Institute Manager. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Melanie, first of all, I happen to live fairly close to the preserve and been lucky enough to hike it. But can you give us a brief history? This is a unique project, and it's been an incredibly unique project in terms of the entire country, really. How did it get started, and how has it grown?
Well, the McDowell-Sonoran Preserve it was a 30,000 acre dream not too long ago, and it became a reality because of the citizens of Scottsdale who voted twice to tax themselves to put money aside for the preserve, and because of the early efforts of advocates such as the McDowell-Sonoran Land Trust at the time, which became the McDowell-Sonoran Conservancy, and also Scottsdale Community College's Center for Native and Urban Wildlife. These organizations were partnering early on to really advocate for the preserve. As the city of Scottsdale began to buy up land and the preserve became more and more of a reality, we started thinking that in order to conserve it in the long term, we would need to know what it consisted of, what plants and animals were there, what sort of resources we had, because you can't preserve or conserve something if you don't know what it is.
And you have some numbers, right, as far as the flora and fauna are concerned.
We do. Actually, the McDowell-Sonoran Field Institute launched a full survey of the plants and animals in 2011. The survey ended formally in 2013, although we're still counting. The numbers were somewhere upwards of 749 plants and animals on the preserve. We have about 383 plants, I think, and the numbers go on from there. So for anyone who tells you that the Sonoran Desert is boring, you can quote that.
John, the symposium, as we mentioned, a long list of the types of folks who are going to be there. Why is it so important to bring these stakeholders together to discuss what has gone on and what could go on in the preserve?
Well, I think for several reasons. One is there's a diverse group of researchers, and so we're trying to bring them together so they can communicate and to foster additional projects. We're involved at Scottsdale Community College to support that effort to hopefully engage our students further into research, and that's what our center really was designed to do, is to provide opportunities for our students at the community college level to get involved in research, biology research, to encourage citizen science. And you don't see that much in the community college systems throughout the country. And so our students with partners like the Conservancy and others, provide these opportunities for students to actually learn by doing.
Well, and for those of us who have lived here, I've lived here most of my life, is there a feeling that sometimes people don't quite grasp just how unique the Sonoran Desert is, and how much does this sort of thing help?
Oh, it's immensely important. That's what we were advocating and still advocate, and that is to provide opportunity not only for students but the citizenry, and to get out and to see what's around them. Because the more you learn about it, the more you're going to want to keep it around and to preserve it. And that fosters not only that interest, but it also helps to communicate it to other generations. And we're involved in and getting a lot of diverse groups, age groups of people involved.
Melanie, what are some of the real core topics we need to know about that are going to happen at the symposium? As we said, there are a lot, but what are a few that really come to mind for you?
Well, we just finished facilitating the first really highly detailed geologic map of the preserve. There were many former maps that had parts and pieces, but this is really going to tell the story. And that project has heavily involved citizen scientists. So that's headlining. That's first. We are also going into a little bit of the history of the Center for Native and Urban Wildlife and the McDowell Sonoran Conservancy at the beginning with Virginia Cordy, who was councilwoman for Scottsdale and present for both of those things. We're going into the flora of the preserve, communicating that, the fauna of the preserve, the reptiles and amphibians, which there's a number of sensitive species on the preserve of those, so those are going to be really important to monitor moving forward. And then we're even going a little bit into the history, anthropology, and using drones to monitor non-native plants.
John, the phrase you've both used is citizen scientist, and I feel like we have to delve more into that. How would we define that?
Well, we define it as getting the general public involved in research efforts. We can use their eyes, their knowledge. Many of them are really adept at knowing the animals and plants, and they can help researchers, from photographing unique plants or unique animals, and we can identify those, we can use those in our counts, and to really engage them in the scientific process. And I think that inclusiveness allows them to feel, that the preserve is theirs and truly theirs, and wanting to keep it.
Well, how much does that increase the passion that goes into this, Melanie? This idea that people really feel like they have an ownership?
Oh, phenomenally. We've really developed our citizen science program partially because we were a small nonprofit, and that represents a humongous resource, as John said. And it has a wonderful secondary benefit of providing people with this very deep experience of really getting down and looking at that tiny little plant they would have never have noticed. And I hear over and over again people say, I will never look at the Sonoran Desert the same. So yeah, it's a very powerful tool.
And finally, just a brief amount of time, I want to give you both a brief chance to talk about this. What could be next for the preserve?
Oh, for the preserve, we can, we hope that this allows researchers to get together and input from the community as a whole to further our research goals and understanding of how best to manage large-scale preserves in an urban setting. And I'm hoping as well for our centers that we can continue and increase the number of projects that our students can become involved with, because it's really important that they learn by doing, and then we have an outlet for them to share what they've done in our secondary and our outreach, education outreach program, which up to date now in 15 years has been close to 16,000 students.
Melanie, just a very few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Anything to add to that?
Yeah, we are really looking at not only providing a foundation for management for the preserve, scientific management, but also really expanding that outward. We have a panel that we put together as part of the symposium that's going to be discussing the future of conservation in the valley, and that's going to be a very important key for the Conservancy moving forward.
Melanie, John, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
In tonight's Arizona Education segment, we focus on community and parent engagement. Research shows the more parents are involved, the more likely their students will have strong social skills and academic success. That's what producer Christina Estes and photographer Miguel Valverde found at Westwind Elementary in Phoenix.
Is it the pink numbers or blue numbers?
You guys have any questions? Raise your hand.
I think she's a little superstar.
Moscow.
Where's that at?
In Russia.
I see so much opportunity within her. So I'm just happy to be her mom.
Rachel Gentle's pride in her 13-year-old daughter is understandable.
I let my parents know about almost everything I do.
Tiara does a lot, from earning straight A's to volunteering at church and playing volleyball. Tiara even serves as a teacher's assistant.
I go to a 4th grade classroom and I help the children if they need help with their grammar.
High expectations are the norm at school and home.
We'll have her helping her younger siblings, and then we'll do activities like this past summer we did, like she had to get certain words out the dictionary and do whole projects. Her dad would have her doing projects with him, you know, throughout the summertime, doing history and things of that sort. We just try to stay involved to keep her challenged.
Sometimes the challenge involves getting up earlier on a school day. Tiara is among 24 students picked to serve on the superintendent's 8th grade council. During a recent community breakfast, she stood with fellow members and shared her motto.
And I believe that you can do anything you put your mind to.
We're here at this school doing different things with this school and this community, like at least once a month or every other week doing something different. And if we're not involved, if we don't care, then who will?
I like them to go to things just so I can know that my parents go, and so other people can be like, oh yeah, Tiara's parents are coming, yay, and then so they can hopefully bring their parents as well. I feel like I'm a leader, so if my parents are going, then more people would have their parents show up as well.
It's the school responsibility to give them the basics of education. It's our job to make sure they're retaining and understanding what they're being taught at school. As parents, I feel like it's our job to give our kids 100% of us.
What island is northwest of Haiti?
And if you don't have the time, it's important that you try to make the time for your kids, because if you're not invested in your kids, how could you expect the school to invest in your kids or the community to be investing in your kids?
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, children with parents who are engaged in their school lives are less likely to smoke, drink, and become pregnant. Here to talk more about parental and community involvement is Pendergast School District Superintendent Lily Matos de Blue, Pendergast Governing Board President Susan Saran, Martha Serrano, President of the PTO, and Kimberly Garber, a parent volunteer. Welcome to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lily, let me start with you. So what does it take? What are the differences between parents who are involved and parents who aren't?
It makes a huge difference for parents who are involved. Their children's self-esteem rises. They're very, very proud of their family that they come to help. And it just makes such a difference for student achievement, because you know we're in a partnership with these parents. The students are aware of it. They can't trick us because they know we're friends and we're partners. And so much more happens at home that needs to happen.
But Susan, what are the qualities that exist among families that do have that involvement and families that need to get more involved?
I think the families that are involved, they have their children are very active in the schools, and they come to see what's going on. They come to the presentations. We have a superintendent, 8th grade council, and those parents actually come to the board meetings with the students to see what's going on in the district. So it really is a great partnership when we get these parents involved.
Well, I do want to turn to the parents. Is there a generational thing that's going on here? Because one thing I wonder is if you have an example to follow, a good example to follow in anything we have in life, it sort of makes it easier to take that next step. So do we have to start with generations in the past, or can we start fresh with a new generation that maybe didn't have that encouragement for that parent?
I think it's for all the time. It's very important. The children can be more secure. The children are happy and they feel comfortable with you, and they know that they come with you, and her activities are better, and we need to encourage them all the time. We don't have time. It's now, it's going to be tomorrow. And maybe our parents cannot have time with us in the past, but we have the time with them.
Kimberly, what's your personal experience as far as this goes? What makes you an involved parent? Did you have a good example to follow with your parents' generation?
I did have a good example to follow with my parents' generation. They didn't necessarily have the luxury of the extra time to be at the school and involved in the classroom like I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that that's made a huge difference with my relationship with my sons that are students at Amberlea. And I feel like I really have a finger on the pulse of their performance in school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's given us a stronger bond, and it's given me a more active role in their lives and their education.
This partnership is an interesting dynamic to me, this idea that people are working together, because I think there's part of me that, just to be skeptical for a second, this concern that sometimes parents will lean on schools a bit too much, or they'll lean on teachers to sort of take some of their responsibility. How is that syncing up to make sure that the schools are listening to the parents, but it's also going on vice versa?
Mm-hmm. And sometimes that is the case. However, it's because of lack of knowledge. And when you have parents who are involved, they truly understand what's happening in the educational setting, have much more respect for the teachers, and really know what they need to do to help their students at school. And that's the partnership with the parents. Partnership with the community, it's the same thing. We want them to know what's going on in the school system, because we are preparing the students that are going to take their jobs over in the not so near future. Mm-hmm. But that's going to happen, and we want them to understand what goes on in the schools. When you read about the school systems, it's not usually favorable issues that are discussed. However, if you go to the school sites, you'll see all the wonderful things that are going on.
Susan, let me follow up with you on that. What is it that you see that indicates that parents, the community, and schools are starting to work better? I mean, there has to be that communication, but even with communication, there can be disagreement. How do we get so the disagreement is productive?
We try to draw the parents in. We have a community cabinet once a month. We also have once a month parent luncheon, where we ask them what topics do they want to speak about. And so we've had 80 to 100 parents attend those, and so we are grateful for it, because it does cement the partnerships with us. And I think then they learn about voting, they learn about college readiness. They take that back home, and they push their students to do better. We've seen that.
Parents, are you seeing that as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's the same thing. When you're involved in the school, you can push them, you understand your teachers, you have more communication with your teachers, and the children feel very great. All the times are proud of you, and she said, "Oh, my dad is here at the school." So my experience has been great at the school as PTO, and as a PTO you can collaborate with the school, work to the school together, and make the things that the budget cannot to take from the district, we provide to our school. So it's a really, really great labor with the school teachers, and all the personnel is great.
I'd like to get based on the experience you've had with that, do you find that the communication is getting better?
Absolutely. The communication, especially for parents that get involved on campus, is more relaxed, and you have a less strained communication and rapport with the teachers. So you have the opportunity to really check in with them more frequently and see, is my son bringing home his homework like he's supposed to? Did he have homework today? Things like that make a big difference.
I want to start with you and have all of you address this. We have multi-generations at this table, and I wonder, we all think about, are there new challenges, whether it's more technology, whether it's social media, whether it's whatnot? Is it harder to get students to be focused on education? Is it harder to get students to respect what the parents or teachers want them to do?
That's up to the parents. I mean, if you let your child play video games all day, then of course they're not going to be doing their homework. And my grandmother used to have a favorite saying that she would say, "Poco a poco se anda lejos." Little by little, you go far. And every contribution counts. There is no contribution that's too small to matter. So for parents, the simple act of asking, "Did you do your homework today?" is making you an active person, an active force in their education.
What about responding to that challenge? The challenge of there's just so much going on. The world seems so much faster.
I think we can use the technology to help them. We used to provide a new program, MobiMax, for all the school, together with the school in a partnership, and it's a great program. It's like a game. They can learn math, science, writing, reading, and you can use the technology to your favor. You can use all the things that we have to push them, but we have to be responsible, and the parents have to be there. If the parents left the computer, the iPads to the kids and go over there, I think it's a grown thing that they can do. It's awesome how the kids can learn with the technology, and they're more smart than us because they born with a chip.
Well, Susan and Lily, Susan, you go ahead. What do you think about technology, the challenge of that?
Technology is a challenge because students have their iPad, their iPhone, all that. They come in, and we do have technology in the school. We have the computers, we have the smart boards, we have things to engage the students. It may not be everything that we would like to have. We'd like to have a little more resource, but it's there. And I think one other thing for the student engagement, it's feeling valued in the schools. I mean, we can have all the technology, all the textbooks that we want, but it's the principal, it's the assistant principal, the teachers, and every staff member making those students feel wanted when they come on our campuses.
Lily, your thoughts?
Yes, and there's always challenges when you have anything new and different, and certainly technology is out there. Learning and being respectful is not exclusive to any generation. So it's going to take that partnership to teach them respect and to work together with the schools. But also it's going to take highly qualified teachers, which are hard to find these days because there's such a shortage, to work with us. And whether it's technology or paper pencil, as long as we have that partnership between the parent and the teacher and that respect, we can teach the students anything and they can learn anything.
And brief answer for all of you as we close. When I think about people at this table, you've all been so positive and optimistic about this because you're all dedicated to this. What does it take to overcome if those are pessimistic about this, to show that it can be done if people work together like this?
They need to come visit our schools, talk to our students, know the belief that we have in the potential of our fabulous students, come to our community breakfast, come to our community cabinets, meet with the superintendent, with the board member, with the parents, get the knowledge, and trust me, once they're there, they're going to fall in love with our kids in our schools, and they're going to understand the positivity that we have and the passion that we have for our students.
Very briefly, I want to hear from the parents again.
I agree with that completely. Once you get into the classroom, you see all the support it takes to run a school, all the unsung heroes that are running the education system, and you do fall in love. You fall in love and you gain a profound respect for it.
About 20 seconds.
And at least I just want to know, when you are close with all the principals, with all the teachers, and you know what do they need, you work with them together, and the kids are the benefits.
So one form of education leads to another form of education. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thursday on Arizona Horizon, Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton makes his monthly appearance to talk about current issues regarding the state's largest city, and hear from the author of a new book on Jack Feaster, a water official whose influence went far beyond water issues. That's at 5:30 and 10 on the next Arizona Horizon. I'm Steve Goldstein in for Ted Simons. We hope you have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Helios Education Foundation is proud to underwrite Arizona Education, a 12-month series highlighting the issues affecting college and career readiness of our students. Through a decade of strategic partnerships, Helios is working to change lives and strengthen communities through education.